everyone. We've tried to start this several times now, but we keep laughing. We're going to talk about a theme today that we've actually been talking about in the past few weeks, I feel like, in passing, about choosing joy in just circumstances, or in this case, the mundane, like the boring things in life, or the things that are just kind of like hard to walk through, that are hard to kind of, see as sacred to us or appreciate maybe.
I know we've talked a lot, we both have anxiety that we struggle with. I think most people do these days.
Yes.
And so how do we find joy in that anxiety season, especially when it feels out of our control?
Yes, exactly. So anxiety was something that I've grown up with my whole life, mainly due to family circumstances at the time. But I was definitely in a place where I was always thinking that my now was never good enough. I was constantly feeling like the grades that I was making, they weren't good enough. I needed to do more. The outfits I was wearing, these weren't accepted enough. They weren't stylish enough. I needed to do more. I was constantly worried about how I was being perceived and accepted by others. And that, I think, is one of the hugest, thieves of our joy, is comparison, or the need to be affirmed by man. And that is across the board. Even if you're a Christian and you're joining us, or a non-Christian and you're joining us, you can probably agree that one of the quickest ways to have your joy robbed from you is to literally just get on your phone and to scroll and look at other people's lives and think, wow, they went pumpkin picking this year and I did not. That was something I dealt with.
They went to Disney.
And
I did not.
Right? Or it's like that. It's like feeling like you're behind somehow, or you're not your life isn't as flashy or as grand as you might have imagined it to be. But I think that also comes from a comparison, but also not prioritizing what actually matters.
Yes.
And that's
I feel like anything we struggle with in life, at least for me, it always goes back to, is God first? And that's really one of the first commands too. Is it the first? Don't have any other gods before me.
Love the Lord your God.
And then
there's commandments.
The command, don't, and it really, it's everything we do that is sin is because we're not putting God first.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, and even having anxiety, which sometimes I feel like it is out of my control, that it is part of the fallen world thing, because I'm trying my best not to, but chemical stuff happens. But I can then choose joy. I can choose to not go down that dark hole and to say, no, I'm going to stand today. I'm going to
dedicate this day to the Lord.
Yes, I'm going to notice the beautiful things around me and live in today and not be so worried about tomorrow.
Anxiety serves as a spiritual amnesia. It causes you to forget about God's faithfulness.
Yes.
And which is so true. And so reminding yourself in those moments where you feel you are down and you are disappointed with whatever it is, discontent, depressed, sad, scared. Think about whatever it is, or just bored maybe.
Sometimes.
Yes, boredom is a normal part of life sometimes. But then I think about how I'm man, I'm not being thankful enough.
Gratitude. I thought about that. Gratitude can change those moments of anxiety.
Yes, and then gratitude, though, I think it goes hand in hand with joy. Gratitude is not a feeling that you can have a feeling of gratitude, but it's because you've chosen to recognize the value of something, is where gratitude comes from.
So I think it's okay to have things that do bring comfort. Obviously God being the first thing, but even a cup of tea brings comfort. Or watching a show, or just sitting and crocheting in a calm can bring comfort. And I think that is from God, as long as it doesn't become the only thing we go to for comfort.
If that's your only source of comfort in life, then you've missed the source of
and
comfort.
So have you seen Stranger Things?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't watched all of it because
they're scary.
It scares me.
This last season was a little.
Oh my gosh, it was so scary. I did not. There's a part where the cutie girl with the red hair,
Robin,
she is in the upside down, and the demon is trying to grab hold of her. And what do her friends do? They put music on.
Max.
Okay, so they put music on, and she's hearing it, and she can see the light, and she's trying so hard to get to it. And sometimes I get goosebumps thinking of that scene, because I have felt like that, where I'm just looking for that light and trying to get to that light. And I think sometimes God does give us things like music to get us out of that dark hole. Tea, get me out of that dark hole. So I just loved that scene, and she fought and she made it, and she got out of that upside down darkness.
That was definitely the most powerful scene.
Never been at a point where I'm just done, I want to give up.
Yeah.
But I can see how it can get there.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it goes away. But in the moment it feels like you're never going to be better.
No.
It's never going to get better.
Yes,
but it
it's
does.
so overwhelming.
There is a light at the end. So to hang on is so important and find that joy.
Comfort things that like just keep you at peace, right?
Yes.
Like, so for me, I know with like when I had like a lot of anxiety, one of the things I noticed is that it kind of separates you from reality in some ways. Well, actually, it definitely does. And so paying attention to your senses. So like I have had students before who've had anxiety or panic attacks, and I give them scented lotion.
Yes.
Right? And then you'd feel the lotion, you could smell the lotion, you could listen to music. One thing I had heard a lot was, it's a choice. And I was like, it's not, I know, right? It's the worst thing to hear, but I understand now what some people were saying. Some,
I get it.
Not all.
I get it. There's a part of it that is mind over matter.
Yes.
There's part of it that you cannot control because we're on the other side of
You control how you
heaven.
feel about things.
This
like,
is,
you have emotional reactions.
yes.
Like, if you looked at me right now and like, your outfit's ugly, I would be sad, right? Like,
although I did tell you look cute.
Yeah, you did.
I love your shirt color.
A little bit.
Yes.
But like, I can choose how I respond, and I think that's the key, is that there's a choice in how you respond. So can I experience joy and like stableness even when I'm dealing with like the roller coaster of life? Yeah, because I've experienced it.
Yes.
And I've always like noticed that when I am in that roller coaster, I still feel like this. Even when circumstances are like this, I feel like this, and that only happens when I'm spending time with God.
Yes.
When I'm surrounding my mind with things that are of the Lord. And so for those out there who might struggle with, you know, choosing joy, to be in that, or struggling just in general with like, you know, finding that, knowing how to achieve that, how to reach that.
Because sometimes I'm too tired to even want to achieve joy. Like, I'm
Tell
too
God
tired.
That. Tell God
so
that.
yeah,
I used to do that. I would just pray,
Yeah.
and go, God, I'm so tired. I don't even know what to pray to you right now.
Mhm.
But I know that you want me to pray. I know that that's a command that you have for me because you know it's good for my soul. And so I'm just letting you know, I don't know what's up. I have no words for you. Thank you for, you know, doing whatever you're doing, because there's times where I just like had no idea even how to thank him. Or times when I would just recite the Lord's Prayer because I was like, I have no prayer, so I'm going to use this one in the Bible.
Right.
There's always a new chance.
And that's the beautiful thing about God. His mercies are new every day. This is
Yeah.
not like,
Yeah.
oh, you messed up, you're done. Like or it's
You're
like
you're not
a blank
running out
slate.
of mercy. I think when we talk about like his mercies being new every day, when you're trying to fight this battle that is very real, this spiritual battle for your mind, for your joy, for your peace.
Practical things, exercising, walking, getting out,
proven to literally help you, even if it's something small, just like stretching or getting out in the sun. Sometimes I think when we're trying to identify these patterns, are you too busy in your mind? Do you really allow yourself to be quiet? And I think we don't want to do that sometimes because we're scared of what God might say if we pray about something we don't really want to surrender. Sometimes we're scared about like coming face to face with things that we haven't healed over, things that we're holding bitterness towards, things that we're insecure about, you know? But do we quiet our minds enough to really listen to God?
Yeah.
And I feel like so much truth comes about in that moment. There did come a point for me where I did, you know, reach a point of I want to give up. And that was really hard to come face to face that, but I've been affected by that, where people have just like, you know, just decided that they don't want to live life anymore, and that's it. And I've been affected by that, and I realized that that is not an effective way to approach things, because I'm not ending pain. I'm casting it on the people I love. That's literally what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so would I rather stay and fight and be able to turn back and say, I'm not that person anymore. I don't deal with that anymore, and I become victorious over this. And what God would teach me in those moments is, my favorite verse is John 16:33. And he says, for I tell you these things so that in me you may have peace. So peace is a promise from God, right? Peace. And he goes, in this world you will have trouble. So there's a promise. You're going to have trouble in the world because it's a fallen world, right? People are fallen. People are broken. They're never going to be able to fully live up to your expectations because they're people, right? Vice versa with you. But God says, he goes, but take heart, I have overcome the world.
Like, already did. Not I'm going to.
Already did.
He already did.
And he's offering that victory to me through salvation, which is so cool. And so I can sit there and I can go, man, when I mess up, that's okay, because Christ has already claimed victory over the world, and he shares that victory with me. So my slate is clean, but I'm gonna still, in gratitude, choose to press forward. Choose to want to fight this, because God has promised me that there is reward on the other side of that there is a life, you know, this life is worth living, right? And
It is.
there's so many beautiful parts of it, and we just fixate so much on the negative. Truth is what God says, regardless of how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to learn that sometimes my heart is deceptive, and
Yes.
and that's okay, right? Because I can look at that and I can grow from that and I can learn from that. And so it took me a long time, and I'm still struggling to always come face to face with my emotions and go, wait a second. Okay, this is from God. Oh, that's definitely not from God.
Right.
Okay, oh yeah, this one's from God, this one's from God. And it takes time to practice that. It takes time to
Oh,
come face to face
absolutely.
with your emotions and say, that's not God. This is definitely like broken, fallen world, like me feeling just self-conscious, like this is not what truth is.
So what silly thing, like
Yes.
tangible thing, do you do to bring joy to a very mundane situation?
Video games.
Really?
I love video
I
games.
didn't know that.
Yes, so I love video games, but I don't get a lot of time to play them. And it allows me to kind of like stay on my toes in terms of efficiency and productivity, because I'm still working towards something in the game.
Yeah.
But I'm like
I love
able
that.
to kind of like breathe, and then weirdly enough it makes me feel really cool and epic because I'm like this hero who's got like powers. So sometimes I feel like I build my confidence in games,
That's
and
so
then I like
fun.
can kind of step outside that and go, okay, now time for the real work.
That's
But-
so fun.
So I like it. My brothers play it,
Oh.
and my cousins play it, so I feel very bonded to my family too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that's a fun thing for me. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I like to read. So, and I
Wow.
think it's okay to have those things that you escape
Yeah.
with.
I think it is just a matter of like perspective and purposing your time well.
Yeah.
Or I need to like spend time with God, right? Which is, I
Yeah.
think that's a huge part of it, is spending time with God. Even in those things, like I do art sometimes, but I spend that time with God. Like I'll be like, okay, God,
Yeah.
what should I draw? And I'll like talk to God as I'm drawing. I think that our quiet time or like relationship with God has to be just sitting down for like an extended amount of time doing these things.
With your Bible and your
Yeah.
journal, which is beautiful. I
It's
do that.
beautiful,
But
and it's totally
a whole
fine to
day
do
thing.
that.
You
Yeah,
can do it
but
all day.
then I also think that if I don't do it that way, then I can't do it at all, and I forget that I
Yeah.
can pray to God in my go. Like I can pray to God while I do the dishes. I can pray to God while I drive to school. I can pray to God while I grade papers. Like
Yep.
sometimes I can't focus on things at once.
Dear Lord, why
Dear
did
Lord,
they
oh,
write
that
that?
was negative. Yeah.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank
You've done a
you.
beautiful thing here.
Thank you. I'm
All the
excited.
kids are
It's
excited.
God. It's God. I
You're
hope
so
so.
cool.
I think it'll be great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
And thank you.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.